بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Hello all my dear students in secondary1. I'm happy to be with all of you Mr. جابر. أهلا بكم طلاب وطالبات الصف الأول الثانوي وفي فيديو جديد مع بعض إن شاء الله النهاردة. الفيديو ده النهاردة إن شاء الله هيكون عن حاجة أو طريقة ظريفة جدا لحفظ الكلمات. ده خاص لكل الطلبة وخاصة الطلبة اللي بيعانوا من مسألة حفظ الكلمات. يعني في كتير جدا من الطلبة بيقول يا مستر احنا مش بنعرف نحفظ الكلمات او بننسى الكلمات او الكلمات كتيرة او بننسى معناها وهكذا. فاحنا عملنا الطريقة دي عشان ان شاء الله تسهل عليكم حفظ الكلمات بصورة بسيطة وسلسة وسريعة كمان. في الفيديو ده احنا هنجمع كل الكلمات بتاعة اليونت كلها، كل الليسونز 1 2 3 4 وهكذا. تمام؟ قدام عينينا تبقى صوت وصورة، يعني الكلمات قدامك كده في الكتاب المعاصر وهتتنطق قدامك. بعد الكلمات كلها ما تخلص هيكون عندك كمان موضوعات الريدنج اللي في كل ليسونز. تمام؟ هتسمع كمان موضوعات الريدنج، القراية صوت وصورة قدام عينيك. تمام؟ يعني مثلا زي عندنا موضوع on page 23 reading اللي هو الموضوع ايكوتوريزم، ماشي، السياحة البيئية. هيكون قدام عينينا الموضوع بصورته وهنسمعه كمان وهو بيتقري. فهنسمع الكلمات قراية وموضوعات الريدنج كمان هنسمعها برضو قدام عينينا عشان يثبت لي حفظ الكلمات. في فيديو مش هيكون مدته طويلة، يعني ممكن تكرره مرة 2 3 حسب ما انت عايز، لأنه يبقى سهل قدامك على الموبايل في أي وقت تشغله. تمام؟ ده ان شاء الله باذن الله هيثبت عندك حفظ الكلمات بصوره كبيره جدا 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 ان شاء الله. هسيبكم دلوقتي ان شاء الله تستمعوا للفيديو and see you next time. Goodbye.
Conservation, conservationist, ecosystem, ecotourism, endangered, environment, environmentally, impact, isolated, annoyed, attractions, beauty, bite, bit, bitten, considerate, coral reefs, council, create, destination, destroy, disaster, disconnected, dragon, drop, eco-hotel, eco-trip, exist, fussy eater, giant, harm, lean, lean-lent, material, spicy, sustainable, swell, swelled swollen, trek, unique, educate, internal, introduce, lemur, limited, locals, orangutan, otherwise, path, properly, provide, public, rebuild, rebuilt, remote, resident, site, solution, sunbathe, victim, volunteer, historic, including, voluntarist, wildlife, active, ancient, beautiful, boring, busy, calm, crowded, exciting, exotic, loads of, modern, actually, adventure, awful, brilliant, castle, cruise, damage, distance, explore, fascinating, gardening, glad, noisy, over the moon, old, peace, peaceful, pros and cons, quiet, relax, relaxing, stuck, guide, on board, paradise, resort, site, steal, stole, stolen, stressed, stressful, teenager, tiny, underwater, unusual, worry.
Reading texts. Page 23. Ecotourism. Is this the future? What is ecotourism? Ecotourism is about providing holidays to places which are often endangered and isolated. The holidays are designed to have a limited impact on the local environment and to educate tourists about conservation. Egypt is developing ecotourism to protect the environments along the Red Sea coast. Tourists can stay in hotels built of environmentally friendly, natural materials. When tourists go diving, they are taught how to avoid damaging the fish and keeping the special coral reefs safe. Madagascar is famous for its ecotourism and wants to protect its ecosystem, the animals and plants in its environment. 80% of the animals and 90% of the plants that live there don't exist anywhere else in the world. Lemurs, for example, only live in Madagascar. The Galapagos Islands in Ecuador are famous for the unique animals, such as the giant turtles, which live there. Ecuador makes sure that tourism is sustainable. Only a limited number of people can visit the islands each year, so the animals and their environment are safe. The Komodo National Park in Indonesia is a popular ecotourism destination. Much of Indonesia's endangered wildlife, including the Komodo dragon, can only be found here. The national park is also famous for its beach with pink sand.
Working together. Last year, I went to the Faroe Islands for a few days as a voluntourist. I was both a tourist and a volunteer. I helped the locals to rebuild pathsand walls. It was very hard work, but great fun, and I met other volunteers from all around the world. While I was working on the islands, I talked to the people who live there about life in such a remote place. On the second day, I climbed to the top of a hill when the wind blew me hat off. Fortunately, the family I was staying with gave me another, much warmer hat which I kept as a souvenir. A popular problem. Venice is famous for being a city with many canals, colorful carnivals, amazing plazas and historic buildings. However, the city is a victim of its own beauty. Venice has a population of only 55,000, but the city is visited by 20 million tourists every year. This tourism creates a lot of jobs for the local population, but it also causes many problems. Many of the 59,000 tourists a day enjoy riding on boats along the canals, but the large cruise ships can damage the historic buildings. The narrow streets can be very crowded, and it is difficult for local people to move around the city. The local council are trying to find a solution which keeps both the tourists and local residents happy. They are also trying to encourage tourists to visit other beautiful sites around Venice. Reading texts. James's blog. This is me on our hotel balcony in Sharm el-Sheikh. It's brilliant here and there are loads of things to do. I'm over the moon visiting Egypt. The weather's really hot, so we spend most of the time in the water. My sister and I are learning to dive with some other teenagers at the resort. I love diving, it's so relaxing and you can see all these amazing fish in the sea. I want to get an underwater camera so I can take photos of them. Last week, we were in Luxor and visited the ancient temples there. I'm not usually interested in history, Booty actually found them fascinating and am really glad we went there. Katie's blog. Day 10 of my summer holidays. I'm so bored, all my friends are away or busy with their family and I'm stuck here at home. The weather's awful and there's nothing to do. Last week, I went to stay with my grandparents for a few days, which was nice, but they live in a tiny village with no shops. I was helping Granddad in his garden most of the time. He grows all his own vegetables. He says it's cheaper than buying them. Maybe I'll try and grow some lettuce in our garden when it stops raining. I was watching a program on TV this morning about gardening. Maybe I'll have a new hobby. Holiday adverts. A beach break. Do you want to relax in a quiet and peaceful place? Escape from noisy streets and leave your busy city life behind. Visit this amazing paradise, enjoy the sunshine on isolated beaches and swim in clean, clear water. Adventure time. Are you tired of the same old, boring places? Are you looking for an active holiday? Then this is the holiday for you. Day 1 starts with diving, then day 2 takes you climbing in the beautiful alpine mountains. Eco trip. Ecotourism is a new way to travel for a new kind of traveler. You can go trekking through the Andes and explore ancient Machu Picchu with a local guide. You can enjoy peace and quiet, or you can meet the local people, all without damaging the environment. A ruse to remember. Why not take a calm cruise around the Caribbean? On board our modern cruise ship, you can enjoy great food and forget your worries in our relaxing restaurants. We stop at 6 different islands where you can visit the crowded markets and see many unusual sights.